Hi, I'm Matt Elwell of the Elite Closing Academy, and in this video we're going to cover what to do and how to close sales if you're afraid of selling. In this video we're going to look at 6 things that you can do if you're actually scared of sales. Number 1 is, around the world there's no sales police, so there's not like anybody that actually says this is how you should do it. The first thing that you've got to do if you're scared of sales is to have some acceptance that there's some resistance there, and that's perfectly okay. Remember, when we were little, we were told things like never speak to strangers, we were told never to interrupt, don't be rude, don't ask questions. Now you're in business, now you're a salesperson, you have to do the complete opposite to what you were told when you were little. It's okay for there to be some resistance, and for some people that resistance can be quite a lot. And search out some quality training. Do I think it should be me? Of course, I'm one of the people I think you should be able to learn from. It doesn't have to be me. What it does have to be is get the right information. There's so much information out there. There's a lot of professional sales training that's out of an old-fashioned book. And all I'm asking you to do is, wherever you get your information from and wherever you get your training, check it out and look underneath the headlines, find out reviews, find out what other people think, and look critically. What you're looking for is what results do others get when they have the training. Our training here at the Elite Closing Academy is professionally accredited by the IAPC&M, which just means that anything that we deliver is certified, and it means it's tangible. You can actually take it away and utilise it. This is not information about here's what I think you should do. This is how I do it. This is how I teach it. This is how my team here, and I actually practice every day. And I wrote a book recently called Open with a Close, and the structure, the framework of what we teach is actually in the book. You can get a copy of it anytime you want, just clicking one of the links surrounding one of these videos, and you can actually get it for free. Secondly, stay focused on your customer or your possible customer, and ask yourself this: when somebody works with me, when somebody moves towards our product or service and invests time, money and energy, what results do they end up getting that led them to move towards us in the first place? Like, what problems do they overcome? If we've got a little bit of fear or resistance to sales, number 1, it's because our skills are low, so fear will win every time. And number 1, you've got to get your skills up, and then fear comes down. Number 2, when you take yourself out of the equation and get centered around, if you don't learn to sell congruently, if you can't find a way, then who suffers? When your business started, what was the strongest reason? Like, who was it going to support? Who was it going to help? Who was going to benefit from it? And by not being able to sell, who suffers? Who doesn't get the result that your business is there to achieve for others? I think it's really helpful, and a great way to do this, you've got pen and paper, is write down 10 things that happen other than finance. If you can move away from just the money, think of 10 reasons why you'd buy from yourself. 10 great things that are going to happen to the end user that are not happening now. And hone in on that, because when a hindering thought comes up, or when maybe you've got a bit of fear or resistance, if you stop making it about you and make it much more about them and what's going to happen positively for them, it's very easy to replace hindering thoughts with more helpful thinking. I think the third thing that you can do is to recognise that sales and close are 2 totally different skills. If you're scared of sales, then it's a good opportunity to review what sales actually means. See, great selling, in my world, is about asking powerful questions, is about finding out really helpful information for both parties before you've signed a contract and closed the deal, before you've purchased anything. I think great sales is understanding, so having a commitment to understanding what others need, with a real drive to find out the truth, to be like a warrior for truth. Like, what does this person, this business, this human actually need from me right now? And by not having it, what are the problems? By having those problems, what's really going on? And when we resolve it, what's going to happen that's really good? So that's like a commitment to sales, sharing powerful information, understanding, asking questions. Now I've said that, you might want to start to review how you view sales. Sales doesn't have to be talking and explaining and telling. In fact, it should be asking and listening and understanding. That's the skill, really, to great sales. Then once you've understood the picture and you've got a feel for the other party. If you believe that you have a product or a service that gets them a result, that is the time to stop selling, present the options in a written proposal, and then you transition from sales to closing. And that's a really, really, really important differentiation between the two. And once you realise it and once you buy into it, it makes life so much more easy, because you get to a stage where you can say, hey, from the information I've gathered so far and from the answers you've given me, actually this is not, we're just not a good match. I'm not going to be able to get the result. And that's liberating, because you can be a stakeholder for another bit. Hey, I've got a friend who you could go and get that result with. Be a stakeholder for somebody else. But it means that you don't end up taking on a client that was never really perfect for you, and all of the ramifications and headaches that come with that later down the line. And then lastly, I think it's just really important on this subject, knowing the difference between selling and closing, is that if you're somebody that has a great product or service but isn't good at sales and isn't good at closing, or doesn't have the skills and is scared it's getting in the way, then here's the problem. We all want to serve our clients. We all want to be in service to others. Actually, the opposite of serve is to hold back, and you have to take responsibility for the skill set of being good at selling and closing, because I believe that great sales and great closing, as long as the other party wants or needs it, qualifies as wanting or needing it, is the most, like the highest level of service. Selling is serving when it's done properly. Closing is serving when it's done properly. And that's why it's really important to have this skill set. There's a few other things that I think, if you are finding life difficult or you've got some resistance with sales, that you can focus on. And that is to arm yourself with a set of questions during the sales process. So make it more conversational, make it more of a collaboration. How do we talk to each other? How do we find out what both parties need? How do we decide whether a good match? And that takes all the pressure off sales and having to explain and persuade, and here's how it all works, and these are all the features and benefits. This is the reason why I think you should do it. If you're doing that, stop it. If you're like explaining for pages and emails and trying to talk people around, stop it. It's not how you sell. It takes all the pressure off. So arm yourself with lots of great questions. Again, I have a system that I set out in my book, Open with a Close, called Punt with a Q, a prospecting system that involves asking questions. Anybody can ask questions, as long as there's a commitment to the truth and as long as there's a commitment to being service to others in business. Then I think there's two other crucial steps to get rid of any fear or resistance in sales. And the next step really is to have, once the sales process is done and you've asked questions and you believe you can get them a result and you understand pains, problems and challenges, is to have what we call a written proposal. So high level, here's the product or the service that we believe will get that result. Bang, 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 high level. Don't have to explain it, just high level. And here are the options. And always have more than one financial option. Because ultimately you can say, hey, from the information you've given me, I believe we have a service that gives you everything you're looking for. It's called XYZ, always have a name. Let me send it to you now while you're on. Ping, while they're on the phone, make sure the email's landed. 85% of emails either never land, or they go into spam, or they don't get read properly. Let me know you've got it. Awesome, I've got it. Brilliant. What questions have you got? So like, while you've got them, you can ask them questions about the written proposal. And you are looking at this point to stop selling and start closing. So which of the two options gets you the best result? It's just a great question to ask. And lastly, is when you're in this situation, the selling is over. You don't have to flip back and start trying to justify or persuade. Is to ask closing questions at this stage. As I said earlier, like which one of these options from the service is going to get you the best result? Like how quickly you want to get started, when you want to get the installation date signed up, when you want to book the one-to-one consultation, whatever it might be. And the skill here is to lock down and close what happens next. And that is the step-by-step system that we use here for anybody that we first meet that moves towards our trainings that has some fear. If you enjoyed this video, then you can also get for free a copy of my book, Open with a Close, where we unpack all of the structure and the framework of the stuff that we've talked about in this video and even more. And you get that copy for free. Just click the link below and we can get this shipped out to you straight away. if you've enjoyed this video, then simply ping the notification bell and push the subscribe button so that you can get our weekly trainings in here.